Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to explore an important topic in educational statistics: variability. We'll focus on three key measures: range, variance, and standard deviation, and learn how they help us understand student performance more deeply. Let's begin with a simple idea. When we look at student scores, we often start by calculating the average. But the average alone doesn't tell us everything. To truly understand how students are doing, we need to ask, how different are the scores from one another? This is where variability comes in. It shows us how scores are spread out, whether they are close together or far apart. And this can make a big difference in how we teach and support our students. Studio microphone: why variability matters. Let's imagine two classrooms. In both, the average score is 75. But in the first class, most students score between 70 and 80. In the second class, some students score 95, while others score 55. Even though the average is the same, the learning situation is very different. This example shows us why variability is important. It helps us see the full picture, not just the middle point, but the range of student experiences. When we understand variability, we can ask better questions. Are students learning at the same pace? Are some falling behind while others move ahead? Are our teaching methods working for everyone? Studio microphone: three measures of variability. Now, let's look at the three main ways to measure variability. First, we have the range. The range is the difference between the highest and lowest scores. It's easy to calculate and gives a quick idea of how spread out the scores are. But it only looks at the two extreme values. It doesn't tell us much about the scores in between. Next, we have variance. Variance looks at how each score compares to the average. It calculates the difference between each score and the mean, then squares those differences. This gives us a more detailed picture of how scores are spread. But because it uses squared units, it can be hard to interpret. Finally, we have standard deviation. Standard deviation takes the variance and brings it back to the original units, like test scores. This makes it easier to understand and explain. It tells us, on average, how far scores are from the mean. Each of these measures gives us a different view of the data. Together, they help us understand student performance in a more complete way. Studio microphone: using variability in education. So, how can teachers and researchers use this information? If the standard deviation is small, it means most students are scoring close to the average. This might suggest that the class is learning at a similar pace. But if the standard deviation is large, it means scores are very different. Some students may need extra help, while others may need more advanced challenges. By understanding variability, educators can adjust their teaching methods. They can offer support where it's needed and recognize students who are excelling. This is especially important in diverse classrooms, where students come from different backgrounds, with different strengths and challenges. Using data wisely helps us create fair and inclusive learning environments. Studio microphone: looking ahead. Data collection. Next week, we'll talk about how to collect data properly. Good data collection is the foundation of good analysis. If the data is not accurate, our conclusions may be wrong. Reliable data helps us see the real picture. It allows us to understand student performance and make informed decisions. So as we prepare for the next topic, let's think about how we gather data. Are we asking the right questions? Are we using the right tools? Are we respecting the context of each student? Remember, the way we collect data affects the way we understand it. And the way we understand data affects the way we teach. Studio microphone final reflection statistics is not just about numbers. It's about understanding people, how they learn, how they grow, and how we can support them. By learning about variability, we become better educators. We learn to see beyond the average and recognize the unique needs of each student. So let's stay curious. Let's keep asking questions. And let's continue using data to create better learning experiences for everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. In our next video, we'll explore data collection methods * and how they shape our understanding of education. See you next time.